Hey, William, nice to meet you.
Hey, very nice to meet another William too.
That's right, great name.
Epic name.
Yeah. Well, yeah, congratulations on this latest project of yours. I really enjoyed your character. He's very likable in the, grand scheme of things. Southern is, so I was curious what it was like, sinking your teeth into this character and this, historical narrative, this very, important period of time. I mean, what was that like?
Yeah, obviously it's the 80th anniversary of D-Day. So like the fact, and I think it was June 3rd or 4th, someone just told me. So it's this month and our film comes out July 5th. So it's really like a month and 80 years since the D-Day invasion, which is really important for people to know about and really important because I actually didn't know that much about it myself. And it can be all quite confusing. Like which one was Dunkirk, which one was D-Day, what happened here, what happened there, and so I think it's important to like contextualize it for people, for modern audiences. And although it's historical, it's also I think quite a fun film. It's a true story. This is a story that hasn't been told before. These were real guys who went on this mission that was basically undisclosed. It was under wraps until now. So. I wanted to give it my absolute best, like both my grandfathers fought during World War II. One of them was a paratrooper like this guy, and so I had a lot about war growing up actually.
Oh, yeah, that's very interesting. Having that personal connection to the story.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And you have some great kind of, intense scenes with Kelsey Grammer, among others. I was curious what it was like working with him, brushing shoulders with him. I mean, I grew up watching his stuff, so.
Yeah, it's interesting because you never really know what someone's going to be like from the camera to what they're like in real life. Some people,
Right.
I mean, I have not done many comedies, but I've heard sometimes comedians are not like the most fun to be around.
Right.
But Kelsey Grammer was just the most gentle, loving, like wonderful person, and it's very interesting actually, even for me to watch him in Murder Company because he's very authoritative, he's very self-assured, but in real life he's just very calm, he's very quiet, he's very easy to be around. And actually, he has a house in Bristol, which is only 40 minutes from where I live in the Cotswolds. So we like kind of bonded on North Devon. He has a motorbike that he takes down through all through the countryside, and so he knows where I'm from, which was a nice connection for me with him.
Oh, well, yeah, that's great. A small world. Yeah, that's great. And I heard, I saw that I know that you played Davy Crockett in a movie that came out this year as well. And I was curious if there's, if you'd like to share if there's anything particularly interesting or challenging about having to play within a certain historical time frame. I mean, going from, that project to this project, I mean, did you notice certain parallels that you particularly enjoyed or found particularly challenging compared to the other work that you've done?
Right. I love films like I love westerns like Davy Crockett. I love war films. So it's kind of like a boy's dream a little bit when you get those parts. You
Yeah.
sort of just jump at the opportunity and go, okay, how do I shoot a musket from a horse? Like let's figure it out. Like now. Like how do I rope from a horse? Like I learned to do on Davy Crockett. Like how do I survive in the wild? So for me, it's like really fun to learn all those things. And similarly with this film, you want to know how specifically you hold a gun, like a grease gun. You don't want to look like a fool, like
Right.
because there'll be guys watching it going, oh, they would never do that. And I'm sure there are things that people say, oh, that would never happen, this would never happen. But we do the best we can with the film. However, we did have weapons training with one of Bulgaria's Secret Service department guys, like one of their top guys, and he was like, I remember him told me, like, when you hold a grease gun, this is very interesting, by the way. When you hold a grease gun, you're not always holding it like this. You have to literally put the gun down to look at the ground in case you trip on the ground, and then you pull the trigger, and then all of your guys are then exposed, and you can all be killed. So, you're constantly doing like this. You're constantly stepping like this. And I thought that was very, very interesting. And also, you never have your finger on the trigger. until you're going to shoot, in case you shoot a friend in the back or something. So there were lots of really interesting things to learn on this film as much as Davy Crockett.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I just learned something. So yeah, that's
Great.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. And I also wanted to ask, I saw, in a social media post that you and your old castmates from Narnia had dinner together. I was curious, do you, try to get together often, and what's that like? I mean, I love that movie, and I was curious if you do that often, and maybe do you ever discuss like I don't know, a future Narnia project, if that ever, comes up in conversation.
It would be a dream, I think, for all of us. Scandus, I mean, I talk to them all the time, but it's funny because even if we don't see each other for like a year or something, I think we still feel really close to each other. I met Georgie when she was 6 or 8, I think maybe 6. I met Anna when she was 13. She's now 36 this year. They're like family, and I said to Scan one day, I said, Scan, if they ever asked us to come back and do like Narnia, because he works in politics now. He actually works for a conservative lobbyist in the UK. He's a very, very intelligent person, Scander, much more intelligent than I am. And he went to Cambridge, got like a double first. He's like unbelievably intelligent. I asked him, would you come back and do it? And I think he would for Narnia. Like, I think he would come back, and he said, look, he's so funny. He'd obviously, well, if they pay me this amount of money, I said, well, they're never going to pay you that. But he said he would come back, which would be cool, But that world of Narnia is a bit like high school. It's like,
Oh yeah.
it was a great time, but I don't think I'll be going back to high school anytime soon.
Yeah.
And I doubt I'll be going back to Narnia anytime soon too.
I get it. I just, had to ask.
Yeah. You're right to ask.
Yeah, yeah. And by the way, great poster in the framed photo in the background.
Yeah, Pink
What,
Floyd.
yeah, one of my favorites.
I love Pink Floyd.
Yeah. If you do you play music in real life? Do you ever?
I can play about 5 chords on the guitar, but 5 chords gets you quite far, actually.
Yeah, it's
Surprisingly,
true.
it can get you a lot of songs. But
It probably gets you enough if you ever, were offered to play, one of those guys in a, biopic or something.
If they make Spinal Tap ever again, I will be happily doing that one.
Well, aren't they? I hear they are making a sequel or something.
Oh my God, I'd love to see that. That'd be so
I
fun.
think so. I think so.
It's classic. It's classic.
Yeah. Is there something else you're working on you'd like to share about?
Well, I've got a film coming out this year. It's called Home Sweet Home Rebirth. We shot that in Bangkok last year, which was really, really fun. And it's based on a video game franchise, and it's gonna be, hopefully, I think it'll be a big movie. I just was watching the trailer, and it's a very it's a big budget film, so hopefully it'll be good. And it's going to be, I'm not sure what the release is looking like yet, but I think there'll be a premiere in Bangkok end of this year, which will be fun.
Cool. Yeah, no, that sounds great. And in the meantime, of course, congratulations on Murder Company. I thought it was wonderful, and I can't wait for everyone else to see it.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. July 5th in select theaters and on demand. So thank you.
That's right. That's right. Well, cool. Yeah, it was nice to meet another William, and I hope we can do this on the next one.
I would love that. I'd be honored. Thank you so much, Will.